Got all the cold breaks settling in the bottom. Look at that. Here's the Dean's List. Cheers, guys, and happy Homebrew Wednesday. Been a couple weeks. Been doing a lot of brewing and whatnot. Just haven't been shooting the video, or at least posting the videos. But to start out, I did get some beer mail since the last video. This one comes from Wally Feck. Check out his channel, I'll post it below. So Wally sent me 5 really amazing looking beers. One is his Gnarly Brown. He sent me his Blueberry Lager, the Baltic Porter that he brewed, the 644 Berliner, and I believe that's the cranberry one, and then the 644 IPA. So I got some good tastings coming up here pretty soon. But we are going to be tasting this Gnarly Brown. So I've had a version of this previously. I think it was 2014 or 15. 2015. This was one of his a version of his SJ Pour entry. So I believe the Gnarly Brown comes from Mad Tree down in Cincinnati, and Wally said this is like one of his favorite beers that they brew down there. So, ooh, getting a nice kind of a chocolatey coffee toasted note on the top here. All right, cheers, Wally. Oh man, yeah, nice toasted, kind of roasty. From the specialty malts, you get a little bit of a chocolatey, kind of coffee-like roast in there. Not sure. Let's see. It's got 7% on there, so it's not a small beer. There's no slouches coming out of the Wally Feck brewery, huh? But if you guys have been watching, he actually brewed an imperial version of this beer right here, and he put it into his bourbon barrels.
About time to go heat up some water. Get a little bit of water in this and heat it up and all that good stuff. Get it swollen. Get it swole like it's just been in the gym. Malt liquor.
So I can't remember what alcohol he's looking at on that thing, but this is just a really good, easy drinking beer for sure. You kind of hold it up, you see like ruby highlights. It's dark brown, but you get like some ruby highlights in the light. It's pretty cool. Thank you, Wally, for sending me these. I'll be drinking the rest of them on cam at some point here. But this one I've had before, so I just wanted to dive into it and enjoy it again. So thanks, and if you guys haven't, check them out down below. You'll know you found Wally Feck when he opens up Homebrew Wednesday. Woo! Alright. So, what's been going on here? Been brewing. Been doing a lot of brewing. My kettle sour will be tasting on next Homebrew Wednesday. That's in the keg carbing. This right here, we have the Rare Barrel Blonde that is going to be going into my Tart Cherry Brett barrel, and then the 5 gallons in there is getting pulled out and it's going to age in a carboy, and that's been in there for about 3 months, and it's just starting to get kind of a tart cherry acidity to it and flavor, and I'm going to pull it out before it gets too oaky. So I'm thinking it's like three months rotation through that barrel, tops. And then in one of these fermenter buckets, we got a collaboration beer with the Dean's List. And so this is a collaboration saison that we did, and its name is Native Transplant, because we took an ingredient from Virginia, where he's located, and an ingredient from Wisconsin, where I'm located, and we're each adding it into the base saison in a different way. And then we'll be switching beers, and then we'll be coming back to taste them, and then eventually that video will be posted to share with you guys. So it's a little bit in the making, but great brew day. Dean's an awesome guy, and it was just great chatting with him and brewing with him all day. I look forward to definitely trying these beers and hopefully pull another collaboration with him down the road. So if you have not checked out the Dean's List, please, I'll put a link down there below too. But stay tuned for the video on that. It'll probably be a little ways out yet because we still have to ship beers to each other. So you got Mike, he's starting his sparge. You got boil kettle nice and full. And that's sitting at 169 degrees. We're starting the sparge here. And we're starting to run off in here. Alright, so the other two brew buckets behind me is our submission to the Iron Brewer Challenge. Headed up by none other than Jake Wallstead and his channel Super Brewers, and he puts on basically Iron Chef meets Brewing. And we drew secret ingredient of bacon. So my buddy Mitch and I teamed up on this venture, and we started off by getting together a couple days before the brew day, and we got some commercial beers, and I'll post some pictures right here. But we got some commercial beers and to try out as the base, and then we baked some bacon up in the oven, and basically trying to rendering off as much fat as we could, so it was just kind of dry and crispy. And then we took a French press and then soaked it in that base beer for about a half an hour or so. And then that way we could kind of see, okay, does bacon work with this base style or not? And what we ended up doing is these two guys. We were kind of torn on the two styles. One we liked because it was something different, and one we liked because it was just so damn good. Once we get it kegged, to just see which one we like the most, and we might have some tasters to come in and help us out. But this coming up week here, we will be dry hogging, and basically this weekend I'm brewing or baking up 4 pounds of bacon. We'll be putting 2 pounds in each fermenter. Yes, pretty crazy. But we tried different methods of hogging, and we tried doing like a tincture, and it just didn't taste good. It was very strong and smoky and all that, but I don't know. It didn't work as good in the sample cold pressings as it did as the just taking the strips, crunching them up, and letting them sit in there and steep for a little bit. So we're probably going to try 2 pounds for 2 days, see where we're at. Hopefully that'll be enough infusion to get that bacon essence there. It's not going to be a huge bacon bomb. It's going to just, hey, there's bacon there. Okay, you get it. But trying to make it hopefully blend with the rest of the base beer. So that's it. We got bacon. Bacon, bacon, bacon. I mean, who doesn't love bacon? Just bacon in a beer is a little bit tricky because of the fat. So we'll see how that goes. But we have some video footage of that. I'll post that in a future Homebrew Wednesday or a separate video down the road. But yeah, excited for that. Excited to see how our beer does, for sure. Damn, that's good, Wally. So we're all set and registered for the Homebrew Con NHC in Minneapolis coming up in June. I know a bunch of the guys that we chat with are going, so it's going to be pretty rad. I know that so far I've been talking with Wally about bunking up so that save on room costs, and so it's sounding like it's going to be a pretty cool time. I know there's a couple of guys that are still talking about going, but hoping it all works out, because that's going to be a pretty rad time, seeing all you guys hooking up and drinking and sharing beers. So with that, upcoming brews, I got some stuff in the works. Just gotta see when I can brew them, and yeah, you know. So lastly, another thing that I've been kind of playing with, thanks to Dan Deslitz from F It Let's Brew It, is cheese making. Just did my second batch of cheese, where it's basically taking this kefir grain, and you put in milk, and it basically is like a probiotic type thing, and it actually puts the bacteria and stuff in the milk that you can then use into your cheese making process. And it's kind of cool because he sent me this little piece of grain. I grew it up and multiplied it, and now I'm sending some off to Sammy, the thrifty brewer. It's coming at you, buddy. But so yeah, it's kind of cool because now that thing is kind of growing, and now the passing on from brewer to brewer, and other guys are starting to get involved in the cheese making too, which is kind of cool because it's pretty much like brewing. You know, your yeast starter is pretty much making that kefir milk, and then you're basically kind of doing similar steps. You basically are bringing your milk up to like 90 degrees, and then you're adding in calcium chloride, and you're adding in your kefir milk, and then you're adding in some rennet, and then you're waiting for an hour, and then doing this, and then waiting for an hour, and then you're cutting the curd, and then you're weighing off. And so I mean, there's a lot of parts of cheese making that can kind of be related to the actual brewing beer process in a way. But it's super cool. The first batch of cheese is already gone. We made a feta. We made a double batch of feta this past weekend, so excited to see how that turns out. Dan's doing some really cool stuff with cheese, light years ahead of me. Anyways, that's all I got for this week. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Wally, thank you for sending me these great beers. Putting something together to send back to you once I get a couple more beers in my pipeline that I want to send out. So everybody, again, if you haven't checked Wally's channel out below, and until next time, we'll see you soon. Delicious.